Melissa Gorga, star of RHONJ, is under fire for a serious relationship lie. Recently, the mother of three made an appearance on Extra. She made a major mistake after discussing all that was happening in her life. What did the proprietor of the shop say to stir things up? For further information, continue reading. RHONJ Melissa Gorga was accused of lying about her relationship since her debut on RHONJ in Season 3. Melissa Gorga has maintained a steady and contented marriage. She and her husband, Joe Gorga, have been accused of infidelity, but they say they work hard. They have been together for almost 2 decades because of that. Unfortunately, Joe and his sister Teresa Giudice, an original member of RHONJ, have also been at odds as a result of their marriage. Melissa claimed on Extra that her marriage to Joe is the longest standing on Bravo. They are not the longest standing marriage on the network, despite having been wed for a very long time. When followers heard this, they instantly added other marriages. Followers are aware that she did not conduct adequate research before making such a claim. To begin with, Lisa Vanderpump and Ken Todd, stars of Vanderpump Rules, have been married for almost 42 years, having married in 1982. Despite filing for divorce, Dr. Simone and Cecil Whitmore, stars of Married to Medicine, have been together for more than 30 years. They have reconciled and put it on hold. While Dr. Bill and Jennifer Aiden have been married for nearly 22 years, Dr. Terry and Heather Dubrow of RHONJ have been married for almost 25 years. After 27 years of marriage, Kyle Richards and Mauricio Umansky were getting ready for a divorce. Melissa Gorga, for example, had a lengthy marriage, but it is not like the others on Bravo. The curse of housewives. There are Bravo-lebs who believe that marriage is cursed by housewives. Following Season 6 of RHONJ, Mario and Ramona Singer announced their separation. After Season 6 of RHONJ, Vicky and Don Gunvalson split up, and Tamra Judge and Simon Barney called it quits on their marriage. As previously mentioned, Mauricio Umansky and Kyle Richards, stars of RHOBH, parted ways in 2023. Dorrit Kemsley, her co-star, and her husband PK have declared their divorce. After the first season of RHOBH, Kyle's former co-star Camille Grammer Meyer's marriage to Kelsey Grammer dissolved. At the conclusion of Season 3, Adrienne Maloof and Dr. Paul Nassif filed. After 20 years of marriage, Teresa and Joe Giudice finally divorced. Thus, it remains to be seen if Joe and Melissa Gorga can continue to have a happy life together. Melissa Gorga has long prided herself on portraying a picture-perfect life on The Real Housewives of New Jersey. From her enviable home to her chic boutique Envy, Melissa often presents herself as the calm and collected counterbalance to the chaos swirling around her castmates. But in the world of Bravo, the glimmer of perfection never lasts long before it's chipped away, and this week Melissa found herself caught in the eye of the storm. The controversy? A claim that Melissa has not been entirely truthful about a significant part of her relationship with her husband, Joe Gorga. The lie that sparked debate. The buzz began after a clip resurfaced from an earlier season of RHONJ in which Melissa recalled her storybook romance with Joe. She has long painted their love story as fate, one where Joe pursued her with unwavering determination, instantly sweeping her off her feet. But during a heated exchange at a recent taping, fellow castmates challenged Melissa's version of events. Rumors surfaced that Melissa may have exaggerated the timeline of their first meeting and early romance, glossing over the fact that she was casually dating someone else when she first connected with Joe. Margaret Josephs, who has never been shy about calling out inconsistencies, allegedly confronted Melissa during a dinner scene, saying, "Melissa, you've told this same story 100 times, but the details always change. First, Joe spotted you in a club and fell in love at first sight. Then you said you met through friends. Which one is it?" According to insiders, Melissa fired back, insisting that her story had never changed, that she and Joe's love was real, pure, and destined. But the moment sparked chatter not only among the women, but also within the Bravo fandom, who wasted no time dissecting the supposed lie. Why it matters on RHONJ. On the surface, Melissa's alleged fib may seem trivial. Does it really matter if she and Joe's first meeting wasn't quite as cinematic as she's made it out to be? To the casual viewer, maybe not. But in the universe of The Real Housewives, perception is everything. The franchise thrives on authenticity, or at the very least, the appearance of authenticity. When cast members are accused of fabricating storylines or altering the truth to appear more glamorous, relatable, or enviable, it cuts to the core of what makes reality TV compelling. Fans want to believe in the messy truths of their favorite housewives. A lie, no matter how small, threatens that illusion. Melissa has often positioned herself as the real deal, a woman who balances motherhood, marriage, and business ventures while steering clear of some of the more salacious scandals that plagued others in the cast. This alleged discrepancy in her love story pokes a hole in that carefully curated narrative, and her critics are seizing the opportunity to drag her down. The Gorga-Marco divide. The storyline is even juicier when placed in the broader context of the Gorga family drama. For years, Melissa has been locked in a bitter feud with her sister-in-law, Teresa Giudice. Teresa has never fully accepted Melissa as part of the family and has frequently accused her of being inauthentic, opportunistic, and fame-hungry. Teresa's fans were quick to pounce on the resurfaced relationship lie, claiming it validates what Teresa has said all along, that Melissa is more concerned with image than truth. On social media, Bravo fans shared side-by-side clips of Melissa's varying accounts of how she met Joe, pointing out subtle differences and inconsistencies. One fan tweeted, "Melissa can't keep her story straight. First, it's destiny, then it's coincidence. Which one is it? Teresa was right about her being fake." Another chimed in, "If you'll lie about something as small as how you met your husband, what else are you hiding?" Melissa's defense. Melissa, of course, isn't one to sit quietly while her reputation takes hits. On her podcast, On Display, she addressed the chatter directly. Without naming names, she brushed off the accusations as desperate attempts to create drama where there is none. "I've always been honest about my relationship," Melissa said. "Joe and I have a love story that's lasted over 2 decades. If people want to nitpick about the details of the night we first laid eyes on each other, let them. The truth is, our marriage is strong, and no amount of gossip will change that." Her words struck a defiant tone, but the damage had already been done. In the Bravo fandom, once doubt has been planted, it grows quickly. Melissa now finds herself in the difficult position of proving her authenticity, something nearly impossible in the age of reality TV receipts. The bigger picture. The scandal highlights a recurring theme in RHONJ, the tension between personal truth and the performative nature of reality television. Melissa's supposed lie isn't about betrayal or crime, it's about image. But image is everything on Bravo. For years, housewives have been accused of storyline stretching, embellishing personal arcs for the sake of screen time. Melissa's love story with Joe has always been one of her defining characteristics, a romantic backdrop that frames her as relatable and grounded. To suggest that story was embellished undermines the very foundation of her Bravo identity. What comes next? Insiders hint that this relationship lie may become a central storyline in the next season of RHONJ. Producers are allegedly encouraging the women to dig deeper into Melissa's backstory, particularly her early years with Joe. Teresa naturally is expected to fan the flames, insisting she's always known Melissa wasn't telling the whole truth. The storyline could push Melissa into dangerous territory. Unlike other cast members who thrive on being villains or chaos agents, Melissa's brand is built on being the polished, put-together counterpart. If fans begin to see her as dishonest, it threatens her longevity on the show. The fan divide. At the end of the day, Bravo fans remain split. Melissa's defenders argue that the criticism is overblown, pointing out that memory is imperfect, and that recounting a 20-year-old love story is bound to produce minor inconsistencies. One fan posted, "Melissa and Joe have been married for 20 years. Who cares if she mixes up whether they met in a club or through a friend? The love is real, and that's what matters." Others, however, aren't so forgiving. To them, the lie is just another example of Melissa carefully crafting her image, something they say she's been doing since the day she joined the show. Final thoughts. Melissa Gorga may not have committed the gravest housewives offense, but in the world of RHONJ, the smallest cracks can turn into seismic rifts. Whether she exaggerated her love story or simply misremembered, the controversy feeds into a larger narrative about authenticity, image, and the performative nature of reality TV. For now, Melissa stands by her story. But with Teresa and her supporters circling and fans scrutinizing every clip for inconsistencies, one thing is clear: the Gorga fairy tale is no longer untouchable. And in New Jersey, once a lie takes root, it rarely dies quietly.